Hello, it's me. So I thought I would go ahead and try to solve this puzzle by Raphael. Not sure exactly what it is, but it does respond to the challenge of getting a puzzle to me in a scrambled position and seeing if I can figure it out. So we're going to go ahead and try to do just that. So looking at this puzzle, it has, of course, the structure of a ghost cube just in terms of its overall layout, or possibly a bump cube, but I'm thinking more ghost. And the thing about a ghost puzzle is that, well, all the pieces are generally different, and you have to solve it off center. But there's a top and there's a bottom, and the top and the bottom can actually be solved, so I could put them in conjunction with each other. Looking at pieces here, something that I'm noticing, let's see if I look around, is I do notice some repeats, or some homologous type pieces. So here's these two. Now one is in so the other thing that I notice about this is it has a 3x3 structure. So you've got a center, say over here, edge, 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 corner, 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 corner. So no problem. I should just be able to solve it as a 3x3. Here's what's interesting is this center looks the same as this, sort of. Well, not exactly. So let's see what else we can find. I don't know, these two look a lot alike. And I also notice that this piece here looks a lot like this piece. As a matter of fact, they're almost completely homologous. I've got a teardrop shape here, teardrop shape here. These look almost exactly the same. I'm also noticing, well, let's see. I've got a repeat here and here. So maybe they're mirror images of each other, but I don't think so. They look very close to each other. Well, in any case, the ghost centers generally have a unique look about them. They look more like, oh, I don't know, like a piece like this, or possibly a piece like this. So any of these could be ghost centers. This is in center position, but these aren't across from each other. So I'm going to make some assumptions here. This is a little oblong, so I'm going to say maybe this is a ghost piece. So then it's just a matter of finding what matches into this. So let's see, kind of a long piece here and something that juts out. So what pieces jut out? Well, this guy juts out. So let me see if I can move him into position. I want to move him over here and see if I can get this thing rolling. Move this here, move this up, and well, pretty good. That's not bad. I can see that this sort of fits, but not exactly. Now the question is, knowing Raphael's work, if it's a ghost puzzle, it's got to fit exactly. Or is there a design flaw? But now this may be the bottom portion, which would be here. So this would be a centerpiece. Although what's interesting is it doesn't look like the classic ghost centerpiece. Honestly, this looks more like a ghost centerpiece. Possibly this one. So is there another piece that juts out that looks like that I can use? Well, maybe this guy. Notice this and this, they look a lot alike. The difference is this has a sticker over here and this doesn't. But I got a sneaking suspicion I can move this one in. Let's make sure we're lined up here. Okay, so, well, here's what's interesting. This is, looks like this juts out just like this does, but this is rotated wrong. This is 90 degrees off. So I can't move this in here. So it looks like this one is probably the one that belongs here. Whereas this one can't be. Wish it was, but it can't be because it's an edge that's 90 degrees off. So that's going to be a no-go. Let's see if I can find something else. Perhaps it goes here. No, not really. Even this kind of bothers me a little bit. How about this piece? And this is pretty good. So this fits in here nicely. Much more flush than this. So I'm going to hold this here as kind of a placemat. And maybe this guy can come into here as well since it's similar. Nope, maybe it's upside down. Turn and turn. Nope. That's not going to do it. Did this guy perhaps come over to here? I move this in, sort of, but no. I still maintain this. If only it can turn would be a perfect place for that. Okay. So we like this here. Now, the next piece that goes here is going to be one of those edge pieces. Maybe this guy. No, this looks a little too much like this. So it might have some homologies to it. But we can check it out. Can't hurt to check it out. Move it. Well, no. If anything, that would move to here. No, not so much. Maybe it's just upside down. Turn it here and here. I'm gonna say no. Doesn't look like it matches up by any extent of the imagination. Maybe something like this. This piece might have potential, or possibly maybe this piece. Gotta make sure I'm lined up correctly. This doesn't belong here, but I'm wondering about here. No, that's all wrong. Okay. Well, I like this piece here, and I sort of like this. I gotta tell you, it's really very strange because this does not look like it goes center. Like I say, this looks more like a well, no, not really. I would say this looks like a pretty good homology to this. But maybe that goes here. No, this is a centerpiece, and it's just down here. That's very strange. This really has a look of a ghost center. It's got something that'll take a longer two edges over here, and then a typical ghost edge over here too. Well, I can't get out of the fact that I think this belongs here, but how do I rotate that? Maybe there's some perspective issue here. Well, I don't know that it's a standard ghost cube. There must be something different. The only thing that I can think to say is if this edge is rotated not correctly in terms of its edge position, and this center, or what should be a center, is in an edge position and not in a center position, that has a lot of possibilities of what we would see with something like a mix-up type puzzle. A mix-up ghost cube. Because if it was, I should be able to rotate this 90 degrees, and I should be able to swap centers with edges. I'll be right back. Okay, so I ran down to the denizens of the collection and pulled this mix-up cube here, and I could get a situation like this by turning it down from edge to center position, moving it to another center position, doing a 90-degree turn, moving it back to an edge position, moving this up. So you can see it's here. Now I can move this back by bringing this back to the center, being careful to move it back here and move it over here. So I'm wondering, do I have such a thing? Well, I'm going to go ahead and do that algorithm that I just did, that technique, where I move it down into center position, all the way across to the next center position, roll this in a way that it's supposed to be, roll it back, bring this up. And we get it back by rolling this here. Got to be very careful to move this back here and here. Now, that's easy for me to follow, and I don't have to memorize it because I can the colors and the shape. Well, more the colors guide me. Here, the shape has to guide me. So let's go ahead and see if we can't roll this. So I'm going to put this from edge to center position. Now, when I do that, aha, ho ho. So yes, this appears to be a mix-up puzzle. Raphael, what have you done? Let me continue this process. I'm now going to move this into edge position, center position here. Move this like so. Now we move it back like thus. And yes, that fits perfectly. Now we move this back over here, back into edge position. Now if I really wanted to finish the algorithm, I'd move this here, move this back, and move this back over here. Okay, so with that said, we appear to have a ghost mix-up. And now what I need to do is first get back what I took out. I believe this came over here. Nope. Uh-oh. Okay. I should be able to find it again, but that's fantastic. All right. Let's move this back over to here. Now I hope I didn't just put something from edge position to center position. What did I have going on here? Now that I've got this in, and this fits perfectly, and that would explain why that looks so off. All right, let me see if I can get this back here. Nope. Okay, let's wheel this around. Bring it up. Nope. Okay. I can simply move this now from center to edge position. So I've got complete freedom to move these guys around in any way I see fit. Boom. Okay, so good and good. And like I say, this does seem like a top, a center position here. So now let's just move this here. Now, believe it or not, I actually have complete freedom, more freedom than I would with a standard 3x3. I can now swap edges and centers. I don't have to worry about that. See this over here? This looks like a center. I'm going to make it an edge. And the way that I'm going to do that, well, let's see, is I'm going to move this down like so. Well, okay, let me not lose track here. Okay, the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to take this to move it out. I'm going to turn it into an edge like this. Okay, it was easier than I thought. Okay, now it's over here, but it's not lined up correct. And nope, so it's not this. But I think it's another one that looks like that, like maybe this guy over here. And let's go ahead and wheel this in. Nope. Move this down here and move this up over here, and no. Okay, so what am I missing? What am I missing? What other piece is going to belong here? I've been assuming that they're pieces that look like this, but I'm not so sure that that's the case. What about this guy here? Nope. And actually, does this guy belong up here? Well, it may be rotated wrong, so why don't we rotate this and see what happens. Move this across here. Move it to a center position here. Let's rotate this the way that we want it. Now move it, aha! Move it back here and move this back up over here. Now I gotta be sure to move things back the way that they were. And if I do it right, this is in. Okay. And we might as well move this back. Okay. In, and in. I'm having so much fun with this. So move this up over here, and no, I think we already did this, but just to be sure, no. And I think we did this one already too. Okay, so what other piece belongs here? These may be rotated wrong also. So I noticed that this has like a long end over here. So let's go ahead and start rotating these a little bit by 90 degrees. Move this all the way to here, rotating it like this. And yep, and it fits. Awesome. Move this up. Move this back. And now this is just to get this piece back over here. Uh-oh. Now, losing perspective is not going to be hard for me to do. Boom. Okay. So, good, 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 and good. We have something of a cross here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these in. Corners should be fairly easy to find. I think these are going to be the triangles over here because it looks kind of triangular in the outline. So as you can see, I move this up and this doesn't quite fit, so it ain't that one. Next contender, this. No, it doesn't quite fit either. So here's another contender. Oops. Oops, I don't know which one I've done already. Maybe this guy. So turn them down, turn this guy in, and this guy up. Okay, this looks pretty good. I'm going to keep it. Another triangular piece to go here. So this is just an easy trial and error. It's just a matter of finding the right triangular piece. Now usually with the ghosts, there's a big triangular piece and a little triangular piece. That one looks pretty big. Turn, 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 turn. Now, the thing is, the way that I do mix-ups is I get all the centers in first. So maybe I should stop doing what I'm doing now and trying to solve this side, because I might be locking myself too much into something that, no, none of these, locking myself too much into something that isn't gonna, let's move this down, I'm not going to be able to sustain. So I've got to bear that in mind, but I'm going to keep going with these, knowing that I can bat it out if I needed to. Turn, I'm just trying this triangle here. I think the top and the bottom like to move together. See, there we go. Alright, this looks pretty good. And bang. Okay, not bad. These are not going to look like these triangles, probably more like this. So let's see if this one happens to roll in. Here's another edge that plays that could play that part. Turn, turn. Just trying to roll this in. Turn. Turn. Okay, this obviously doesn't belong. Maybe this one does. Turn. And aha, beautiful. Look at that, fits perfectly over here. Now this guy, here's another unique looking one. Let's try this. It's not going to be triangular. And don't know about that. Maybe it's just rolled wrong. Let's spin it around. Okay, one more chance with this. Then I have to abandon it for another non-triangular looking corner. Yeah, I gotta abandon it. How about this one? Oh, nice. Okay, good. So, proof of concept, that's pretty good. Now, like I say, with mix-up cubes, not sure what is centers and what aren't, but here's my contention. This actually moves pretty well. This is the top portion of a ghost cube. All I have to do, I think, is put the bottom one in, because then it doesn't matter. My middle layer, doesn't matter which centers and which edges as long as I line up, so I don't have to sweat it. Did this get, oh, okay. So I kind of suspected this is not a center, but maybe it is. It really could be anything. It might look like it, but it's a matter of deciding what edge to put in. Now see how this lines up, this edge? So this edge is right side up, so it should line up somewhere with this center. So I'm going to move this down, and I'm going to see where it lines up, if anywhere. It's got to line up somewhere if this is truly a center. And boom. Nope, not there. Make sure I can get this back if I wanted to. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep going around. And here, no, doesn't belong there either. Okay, how about here? And no, certainly not here, so no. So So let me tell you what that tells me. Bring this back. What that tells me is my suspicion is correct. This is an edge and a corner pair, but it doesn't fit with this. So my suspicion, one that looks more like a ghost center, is this. However, although it's in center position, it's not in this center position. I've got to somehow move it there. So how am I going to do that? Well, I think what I can do is let's bring this in edge position. Go 1, 2, and bring this down. Okay, so now this is in center position. That wasn't too difficult. And now let's see if this lines up with here at all. So I'm going to move this down, move it across, move this up, and nope. The moment of truth, and up, and oh, look at that. Beautiful. That actually does fit with that. So let's get this back so I can get my bottom back here. Okay. So that just tells me this is the center. This is truly the center position. So what I can do is I can just go ahead and start filling this in. Filling these guys, filling the edges in over here. Now it doesn't matter what's in center position and what's in edge position. So what am I going to start with? Well, like I say, I have a number of repeats. And those repeats would be, I've got this piece here and this piece here, these guys. So I suspect that there's a pattern that's going to develop. These two are repeats. I'm going to call this, I don't know, like a spade. I'll call those a spade. And any other repeats? No, well, this guy and this guy. We'll call this a crown. So we got crowns, two spades, and then I got these wedges here. Is that it? Well, this piece and this piece look exactly like also this and this. So I've got these slabs over here. And I suspect that they have a pattern that's followed here. So I'm going to first take a look at this and ask myself, is this rotated correctly? Well, I can see if I can put this into ghost position, and this looks like it likes to be here. So I'm going to say maybe. All right, let's line these up. Sometimes the top and the bottom like to move together. Okay, so I'm going to use this as like a nidus. And what belongs over here? Well, it looks like maybe this slab can line up with this. However, it's rotated wrong. Here's another one. This can go here, which will go here. So this could be lined up here. So I'm going to move this up. Now, right now, this is in center position, but it doesn't have to be. I don't want to use it as a center. I want to use it as an edge to move it up. So now it's an edge position. Let's move it up to here. Turn. This is just beginner's technique of the algorithm of placing the middle layer. And down. Okay. And that did move this down here too, which is, I think, what we want. Now, proof of concept, where did I put it? I'm going to see if this will come down to here and fit just fine. All right, I don't want to lose my alignment or I am sunk. Turn. Turn and down. And that looks pretty good. I would say they line up perfectly. Now let's put this into ghost position and see what we can see. And this lines up nice. This sort of does, but this sticks out. So I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that this is upside down. So let's turn this upside down. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to do an algorithm. I'm just going to do an opposite edge swap. Let's do it from here. That way it'll turn this upside down. That's 2R. 2U, 2R, 2U, 2R. Okay, this was turned upside down. We move this around and aha, look at that. You can almost see the square coming out. So that's perfect. That lines up over there. I can't tell you how much fun I'm having with this puzzle. So, okay, so we know that these belong. So what belongs here? This is coming out. So let's see if this matches in here. Put this in this position over here. Raphael, what have you done? What have you done? And I'm looking for things that repeat. Oh, this doesn't want to turn. There we go. No, not here. Maybe it goes the other way. Maybe it goes down here. No, that doesn't look like it's jutting out enough. So what about its homologue? What about this guy? Let's move this up and see. Okay, this is an edge position. Turned. Now this is without any lubrication. It's pretty much right out of the box. Turn and turn. Okay. Where did I put it? I put it right here. And does this go here? This doesn't, but maybe that's what we used before. And this doesn't. Okay. However, if I move it in from this angle, no, I don't think so. But if I move it in from this angle, this one might, because this is facing up. So let's try this. So we're going to move this to here. As long as it's not in center position. Okay. Turn. Turn. The moment of truth. Do I indeed have a cycle of repeats? Turn and turn. And it appears that this does not belong in here in any direction. Nor does this. Okay, well actually notice these are facing the same way. So I'm going to take a chance now. I'm going to go ahead and rotate this. So let's go ahead and put this in center position here. So this is in center position. So now I'm going to move this down into, well actually that was an, yeah, that was an edge position, moving down to center position. Move it to the center position over here. And I'm going to move this, it's going to be hard to keep track, I'm going to move this towards me like so. And now I'm going to move this guy back and move it up just one click back to edge position. Now I got to get this back or I'll undo everything I did here. So let's move this back here. Now I moved it towards me. I'm going to move it away by one click like so, which gets this back. Okay, and gets this back. Now, what did I move? I moved this guy here. If what I did was correct, this should now be able to come down to here. Will it come down in this position? Now let's see. And, well, no, not there. But it is rotated compared to this. So let's move it down into here from this position and see what happens. So all I did is I rotated that edge by 90 degrees. Turn, turn. Turn and turn. Okay, still didn't do anything. So maybe this one doesn't belong here. Maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. I'm not 100% convinced yet. And maybe I made a mistake when I turned it. Yeah, I think I must have, because these are still facing the same way. Let's turn them through here. Well, they're facing the same way because I think they both got turned 90 degrees. So let's try this one. Aha! Look at that. Nice in here and boom. Okay, so my suspicion of repeats are correct. Good, good, and good. So what's the next one that comes in? I'm going to do another repeat. So we had these spades, and now we'll use this. Okay, this one's already up here. So let's see, will this come into this position here. Again, it doesn't matter which in center position, which in edge position. Okay, I want to see if I can't move this down, line it up just right. And do we like that? Nah, I don't think so. Maybe it's got to come in this position here. Like this. Well, let's try. Let's give it a try. Turn, turn, and turn. Okay, that's obviously wrong, and this is facing the same way, so it won't do any good for me to do anything there. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rotate this. I'm going to move this one up also. So this is in center position right now. These two are the same pieces. This doesn't belong to be a center anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and move it in edge position and just move it up to here. Turn, 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 turn. So it's very freeing actually to have a ghost puzzle give me this much degree of freedom between centers and edges. Now let's confirm that they truly are. Let's move this back into, okay, this is here, yeah. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take this and put this into edge position over here. And what this will do is it'll rotate both of these, and I think they both need to be rotated anyway. So move it down into center position. Put this into this center position. Rotate it towards me. Move this back into the center position here, and move this one click up like so. Now move this back into center position so I can get it back. Move it one click away from me, which brings this back. And now we have to remember to move this back like thus. Okay. Now notice this, these two seem to like each other, sort of. Well, in any case, now let's see if we can move this in. Now that I've rotated, at least I think I rotated it, if all went well, it doesn't come in by that perspective. So let's move it in with this perspective here. Turn. Well, you know what, I think we have to line our corners up. There, okay. We're going to move it in from this perspective. UI, U rather, R, UI, RI, UI, FI, U, and F. And we don't like it, not one little bit. Maybe that's not the one that we turned upside down, but I thought we turned both. Okay. Well, maybe it's got to be through this perspective. I think I keep putting it in not the way that I wanted. Turn, 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 and down. Okay, two possibilities. Number one, I did it wrong. I didn't rotate it correctly. Or number two, it just doesn't belong there. Okay, now in this way, yeah. Okay, let's try rotating this again. Maybe I just did it wrong. Been known to happen before. Okay, we're going for 90-degree rotation. So I'm going to move this down like so. Move this all the way around here. Rotate it towards me. Move it all the way back. Bring it back up by one click. Move this back here, and then rotate it away from me. Boom. Okay, with that done, that should have effectively rotated this. Let's move this back into edge position if I can. Rotate it down. Won't go in that way. This guy wants to move with the top for some reason. Okay, so let's move it in from this direction. Did it work? Shall I have faith in the algorithm? Or did I mess it up? Turn, turn, aha! And down. Wonderful. That's in. So that also proves my theory that these are repeats. So we've got this thing, slab, spade, crown. So the next one in the series, I guess, is we must go right back to the beginning, this guy. So I'm going to put this in edge position. If I bring it down here, it doesn't go in that direction. So I'm going to hope that it goes in this direction. U, R, UI, RI, UI, FI, U, and F. Okay, you can see that's wrong, so we're going to want to rotate this. Now, what I've learned is when you do the rotation, this rotates, but this also rotates. You just didn't see it. So if I do this right, if I keep this here, this will rotate along with this. We don't care about this one quite yet. So let's see if that theory works also. So I'm going to take this, move it into center position, bring it all the way here, rotate it towards me, back to here, rotate this up, and now this is where this gets rotated because I'm going to move this all the way back here, rotate it away from me, and I'll rotate it back, and look what happened, it got rotated. So that's the fun thing about these ghost puzzles and about these shape mods, is it's actually taking known techniques and seeing other aspects that happen. Because now, center rotation didn't have any meaning here, it does have a meaning here. So it's the ultimate mix-up puzzle because center rotation means something, a super mix-up. And the ultimate ghost because now you're confusing centers with edges and edges with centers. Before you're just confusing edges with edges and centers with centers. So the next would be another piece that looks just like this, and that would be this guy. So let's move this up. Right now it's in center position, so we can't. I'm going to get it in edge position. U, R, UI, RI, UI, FI, U, F. So the big hurdle of this puzzle was to surmise that this is a ghost. Now, will this rotate correctly? Not this way. How about this way? Well, let's see. Nope, because this isn't going to line up. All right, so we have to rotate this by 90 degrees. Now, I could move it here, rotate it 90 degrees, and then move it down. Or, what I'll do, is let's just move it down here. U, R, UI, RI, turn, 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 turn. Because if I treat this as a center, I can rotate this as an edge and this as a center, and everything will be fine. So we'll move this down. Oh, I got lost for a second. Okay, move this down by one click, which means just in the edge position. Move this all the way over here, rotate it towards me, move it all the way back. Now rotate this back by one click. All right, now move this over here, move it away from me, which gets this back, and now move this back over here. Now, you might think it didn't work, but it actually did. I just didn't rotate it the right way. But what I can do is I can now, whoop, I gotta put this in edge position. Take this, move it up, and then whip it around. Okay, let's try that again. Gotta make sure we're in the right position. Okay, turn, 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 turn. The only difficulty I'm having is when I move the top, the bottom wants to move with it, which takes the alignment out. And alignment is everything. Now I'm going to whip this around, now bring this down here. And I don't even have to check my work because I'm going to have faith in the algorithm. Turn, or faith in the strategy anyway, so we can start zipping through it. Turn, aha, see, lines up perfectly and down. Okay, so we're going to keep going. Now just to check our work, if I move this into ghost position, you can see we're nice and lined up all the way around. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay. And it doesn't matter if it's in center or edge position because we're just lining them up. The next thing on our hit list is this, what I call the spade, and that's this guy. And he's in center position. So let's knock him out in edge position. Now, here's my question. Do I just have to, well, I don't want to make any assumptions. We do have a more safe way of evaluating this. And turn. Okay. Where are you? You're right here. So if I move him down to here, will that be in the proper position? Well, it all depends. It's got to be in the same position as this. And I'm going to say, sure, let's give it a try. So far I've had to turn every one of them. Maybe I get lucky with this one. And turn. Okay, the answer is no. So I'm not going to bother turning him around or moving him back up. I know it's in the wrong position, so I'm just gonna rotate him while he's here. So move this down, bring this all the way to here. Gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. Rotate it towards me. Bring her back. Bring this one click back. One click back. Move this over here and bring this away from me, like so. And the fact that this lined up and this lined up means I did the right thing, and now I'm back here. Okay. Yeah, rotated it right. So now I have one more to go, and that's going to be the final repeat, which was this guy, the crown. Where's the crown? Crown, right over here. So now this can move into this. Okay, we got merciful here. Finally one that I didn't have to rotate or do any mix-up moves. But now we've become masters at that. Turn, 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 and down. Okay, perfect. So as you can see, if I move this into ghost position, our bottom layer is done. And now we just have to do the top. We've already surmised that this is in the center position, and this is correct. We've already proven that. So it's a matter of seeing which one of these is upside down, which is right side up. This one I suspect is right side up because this was right side up over here. So this is good. And this I think belongs over here. So let's do Sunni until we get this to here. R, U, R, I, U, R, to U, R, I. Okay. So no, it doesn't belong here, which makes me question if this is actually the centerpiece or not. Well, I can't imagine this going anywhere here or here, so maybe this is rotated 90 degrees. That might be the case. And I won't know that unless I rotate it 90 degrees. Let's do another Sunni just for good measure. U, R, I, U, R, to U, R, I. Are we absolutely sure about these, by the way? Because some of these look a little like these. Because when I move this up, this fits here pretty well. So I got, you know, gotta wonder. Anyway, I think this belongs here, but I think this belongs 90 degrees. I know that this is the center because one of these matched up. I think it was actually this one. So let's Sunni this until maybe this goes where it's supposed to go, which I think is probably here. So let's do it from this perspective. R, U, R, I, U, R, to U, R, I. What this means is that in addition to having the usual ghost questions of if this is rotated correct by 180 degrees, we gotta wonder, is it rotated correct by 90 degrees? This, I think, is rotated correct because it matches pretty well with this corner. R, U, R, I, U, R, to U, R, I. So is the ghost 180 degree issue or not? Okay, I think this might need to go here, so let's hold it over here. R, U, R, I, U, R, 2U, RI. Remember, the last layer is still the hardest. R, U, RI, U, R, 2U. Don't get lost. RI, nope. R. So nothing is matching up. But I know that we had one that did. R. 2U. Alright, and with all the changing around that I did, might I have rotated some of those counterclockwise? Okay. Let's do this. Let's rotate this. 180 degrees. F, R, U, RI, UI, FI. Because this might be the most obvious one to sort of go where it's supposed to go. I know it doesn't go here. So let's wheel it around. R, U, RI, U, R, to U, RI. And again. RI. U, R, to U, RI. Nothing is matching up, which does make me wonder. Okay, let me think about this. Okay, what's supposed to come into here? What shape looks like it curves? And that would be this. So is this just a matter of going upside down? Well, let's turn it upside down. F, R, U, RI, UI, FI. I think this is off by 90 degrees. Unless this belongs here. Let me just move this here, here, and up real quick. Nope. Here and up. Turn, turn, and turn. Yes, no. And turn. Okay, here's what I think I'm going to have to do. None of these are fitting, so let's go ahead and turn this 90 degrees. To do that, I'm going to turn this 90 degrees as well, but that's okay because I can put another one in. I don't think there's any bizarro parities to this puzzle, so I'm going to turn this 90 degrees. Let's turn it down like so, into center position. All the way over here. Rotate it towards me. Put it all the way back. Move it back up just by one click. All the way here. Move it away from me to get this back and move it up here. Okay, it had the intended effect. This got rotated 90 degrees, so did this. Let's see if it was all worth it. So let's see if this will find its way to a center here. R, U, RI, U, R, to U, RI. Boy, I like this one here now. Okay, let's hold this here then. R, U, RI, U, R, to U, RI. Okay, something just occurred to me. It still may be 90 degrees off. This is one that was turned. Let's move it to here. We'll do one more. U, R, to U, RI. Okay, the one that I rotated, I think this might be 180 degrees off. Oh, you know what? This looks, I don't know. It looks pretty good. It looks like these two are in, and this is 180 degrees off. And this one, who cares? I think it's 90 degrees off. So I'm going to say these, oh, I don't know. It looks pretty good. Not 100%. But I'm going to rotate this anyway by saying this is like an L formation here. So that's F, U, R, UI, RI, FI. Okay. So with that said, the whole goal of that was to rotate this. Everything should be rotated in the right position. R, sort of, U, RI, U, R, to U, RI, and good, good. Was this one that we rotated? I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling it. I'm gonna go like this, go 1, 2, and bring this up. Nope. And bring this up. Okay, well, let me put this into ghost position from the top and see if that works. All right, when I put this here, this does work. So these two I'm gonna say are right. These two are correct. And this, is this just rotated by 180 degrees? All right, here's what I'm going to do. I suspected this was a 90-degree rotation off, so let's go ahead and just rotate this by 90 degrees. All the way to here, turn towards me, all the way back, bring this up, all the way here, turn it away from me, and all the way back. Okay, this appears wrong, but it's just twisted wrong. So I'm going to bring this up. Put an edge position. It should be within 180 degrees of where it needs to be, like any edge should be. Like I say, this last layer is always a doozy. Even if I think I've got it, still is some trouble. Okay, hopefully I didn't mess things up, but this should get it back. Turn and down. Okay, good. So all that's fine. Okay, now this is now rotated correctly. This is now rotated right. This is good. These, well, here's my question. Does this belong here? And does this belong here? Well, I'll move this down, across, and up. Not the way it is right now. Across and up. Okay, what that tells me is that this doesn't belong here or here in the direction that it is, so it must be turned 180 degrees wrong. How about this? I'll move this down, across, and up, and nope. Okay, so I'm going to say, once again, we have an L formation over here. To rotate them all correct, I'm gonna go F, U, R, UI, RI, FI. Okay, that kept this here. And okay, now you see this is correct. But what about these guys? Well, if I move this down, move this here, and move this up, you can see this belongs here and up. Okay, and now, unfortunately, here's what we're also going to see. Down, across, and up. This belongs here. So they are all rotated correctly, but here's the problem. The problem is that these two have to be swapped. So you can see I've got it back in a 3x3 situation, but I have to swap these two. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. If I move this into ghost form, let's see. Yeah, so this lines up here nicely. This lines up here nicely. These do not. So, what happened? Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I know what happened. This happens in mix-up puzzles. This is not specific to this puzzle. This also happens here, where you have a seeming parity where one needs to flip. Now, the problem is it might not be these two that need to flip. It might be these two. It might behoove me to get the edges, these in the right position, these corners. I think this corner needs to come here because this has this oblong shape just like this. So I'm going to do my corner rotation until this comes to here. Turn, 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 and turn. Okay. So this does belong here, I think. I'm going to do an RIDIRD maneuver just to make sure. D, RIDIRD. D. This is usually the last step. D, RIDI, aha, RD. So this is in. Now I've got to do it one more time to get everything back. One more set of the RIDIRD. 3 sets will get you back. RIDIRD. And sure enough, it did. Okay, so I know this belongs here. Does this belong here? Well, ooh, good question. They all look like triangles, don't they? Let me RIDIRD this real quick. RIDI RD RIDI RD. Alright, this belongs here. So let me wheel this all the way around and finish this one up. RIDI RD. Just trying to get it back. RIDI RD. And one more. RIDI R. Okay. So, this doesn't belong here. This does. This doesn't. So I'm going to do my algorithm to see if I can't move these where they're supposed to be. Turn, and turn. Okay, these two are correct. These corners. I can confirm that by putting it into ghost position. Now the reason why I'm doing this is I need to see what edges need to move. So these are fine over here. What about these? Are these two where they need to be? Well, I could RIDIRD it and see if it fits with this. Because if not, then they are wrong. In other words, I need to get the corners in first. So this needs to fit with this. RIDI RD RIDI RD. It's not there yet. Let's do it again. RIDI RD. That does fit with it, so I'm going to move this over here, and that should get this one in. D RIDI R. Okay, I don't have to do the D. But basically what this means is all of these corners should be in. As I move this around, this is in, this is in, this is in, and this is in. So if I put it all into ghost position, you can see everything is in except these guys have to be swapped. How am I going to swap these two? Let's get this out of ghost position here. When I say ghost position, I mean solve position. Okay, so we did encounter something like that on this puzzle, the mix-up. And the way that this happened is that if I do this algorithm, RURIUI, then move it down by one click, and then reverse that to URUIRI, then I keep going around and around like that. RURIUI, move it here, reverse it URUIRI, then I do a motion again, RURIUI, bring this here, then URUIRI, and again RURIUI, bring it down here, URUIRI, here, I think once more, RURIUI, this comes here, URUIRI. Now, what that did is that put that in. But that's also how you fix that, by doing that algorithm. Now here's the thing, I know that's what I need to do here. But I was doing a lot of fiddling around with this. If I mess up just once, the whole puzzle is going to be scrambled. The whole puzzle. So before I proceed, I'm going to be right back. I got to get a drink of water. Okay, I'm back. Just wanted to go through the whole thing in one take, warts and all, so just wanted to let you know where I was headed. Anyway, so the way to get out of this in a mix-up puzzle is you have what you want to flip on the top right and the back right. So you have this in front of you, so that would be the equivalent of, well, here's the front, and I want this on the top right. So if this is the front, I guess it would be like this. Now, again, perspective is always an issue. So this is the front. So this represents here, and this represents here. No, because these two have to swap. If these two have to swap, it's going to be like this. So, again, it's very important that I not mess this up. Alright, that's the equivalent to this here. And what I want to do is I want to put this top, that's going to be like this. Okay. And like this. Okay, having a little hard time, maybe because it's getting near the end. The end is near. So where's my center here? Okay, let me get my bearings again. This is a front over here, and the top. Okay, if this is the front center, this would be, no, the top. Alright, let me see. Gotta make sure that I have this completely in my head. Yeah, so if this is the front, this is the top, but it's got to include this. Alright, so this, I'm having a hard time visualizing. Okay, this is what I want. This is what I want. So this is the right. And what represents the top here? Oh, okay. So this has to be represented as the right side. This is the right side over here. This is the right side. Aha! That's what it is. Okay. That was a little confusing, but like I say, I've got to make sure that I get this correct. This is the top, this is the top right, this is the back right. Yeah, back right over here. Okay, so that represents this. I just have to make sure that I know this is in front of me here, and my S layer is going to be this. That's my S layer. Okay, now I can bear that in mind, but I've got to concentrate because the way this is going to work is I have to do RIURUI, then move the S layer one click like this, then reverse what I just did. URIUIR. One click again. RIURUI. A click here, reverse it. URIUIR. Now I know that I'm doing well because I get this back, but I'm not going to know that with this guy because I won't have the color scheme. Once again, RIURUI, and again, URIUIR. Another click here. RIURUI. Click. URIUIR. And again. RIURUI. And once more here. R-I-U-I-R. And that will solve it. That will do it. Now, just because I know it doesn't mean I won't screw it up. So with this over here, and this one moving all the way down, yeah, let's see if we can do this. So it starts off with R-I-U-R-U-I. One click here, U-R-I-U-I-R. Boy, am I nervous. One click here. Okay. R-I-U-R-U-I. One click here. U-R-I-U-I-R. One click here. R-I-U-R-U-I. One click. U-R-I-U-I-R. One click here. R-I-U-R-U-I. One click here. U-R-I-U-I-R. Now, did I go too far? I don't know. Another click here. R-I-U-R-U-I. Another click here. U-R-I-U-I-R. Aha! Okay, I think we conquered the parity. We're back. We turn it over here, and over here, I think, and done! There it is. So, for the very first time, I think anyway, a solve of Raphael's brilliant and inspired ghost mix-up cube. This was a lot of fun because I didn't know exactly what it was until I started to get my way through it, to realize that certain corners, or certain edges rather, that should be 90 degrees from where it was off, wasn't, and certain centers that should be centers weren't. So you sort of had to surmise that the only type of puzzle that'll do that is a mix-up puzzle. In many ways you can call it the ultimate mix-up puzzle because center orientation has meaning, and you can call it the ultimate ghost cube because basically you not only confuse one edge with another and a center with another, you confuse edges with centers and centers with edges, but it is possible, it is doable, and Raphael, you are a master builder, absolutely brilliant, and an incredibly high class to get me such a wonderful and brilliant puzzle. And once again, just to show you from the solve position, this is the ghost position, but as you can see, you can move it into mix-up position and turn it as such. I highly recommend you getting your hands on this puzzle. It's brilliant, it's a great addition to any collection, and it takes the ghost concept in a way that I didn't even think of. Raphael, once again, brilliant job, and show some support. Brilliant designers like him need support, need funding, and it will be well worth your while. Thanks for watching.